He got two children. Them also have to one, the boy and the girl.
Check the account.
You have the same link.
Daily. I was saying.
Welcome to NetworkMarketingPro.com. I'm here with my buddy Robert Hollis. How are you, man? This guy and I have known each other for a long time.
Very long time.
He's earned millions of dollars in the network marketing profession. He's been hanging out with us at our GoPro Breakthrough event here in Las Vegas this weekend. So I thought we'd turn the cameras on and have a little conversation, talk about some success tips, talk about some things that you've done to be successful in your business. But to start, why don't you give everybody just a quick introduction by telling them your story. Where'd you come from and what's it turned into?
Sure. Again, I want to thank you very much for introducing me to all this. I mean, I'm just having a blast and I learn stuff from you all the time. You know, me, I was just a classic guy that grew up in Williston, North Dakota, auto mechanic, and just basically was good at doing exactly what I was told to do. You know, go out there and get good grades. I sort of messed up there and decided to go to a trade school because I didn't want to go to a normal school. And I got out of there, was a mechanic, and just started going to work and working hard. And it just seemed to be one of those things where I know that a lot of people, you get excited about, you know, getting your first job. And I just put in extra hours, and all the extra hours I put in wasn't around my family, but never ever had enough money to be able to do the things I wanted to do. And I believe that bad things happen to people, and what happened to me, I was in the wrong place at the wrong time. And a van slipped off. I was so smart, I tried to stop it. And it hurt my knee, and I no longer was a mechanic. And I just remember like it was yesterday, everybody talks about, I know you talk in your videos about this point where you just can't have your life that way anymore. And my son, Robert Hollis Jr. now is doing great in the profession. You know, I was driving home and I pulled over to the shoulder road, and, you know, 6, 7 years old, looks at me and says, "Dad, listen, you go up a couple more blocks and turn left in our apartment's on the left." And Eric, I just didn't know how to tell my son that I was hiding my car from the repo man. I've never felt so unworthy and so worthless in my entire life. Is how did I get to this point? And I just didn't know how to lie to my son. I just said, you know, this is it. I'm not going to do this anymore. And I believe that when you're it works. And a friend called me and said, "Hey, listen, you got to come check out this guy. He's making 62 grand a month. I seen his check." And I thought, this is crazy. And he says, "No, he's looking for people to show you how to do this." And man, I said, "I'll come pick you up." And so I went and met this guy, and there's only 2 things that I thought that he could have to make him make that money. And one was, what did he do? And he said, well, before you don't go, I'm not working with you anymore. And I thought, wow, I'm still on workman's comp, I gotta go. So I went there, and everyone that walked across in front of the stage, I just disliked. It just made it worse. You know, because all these people, oh my God, I'm making this kind of money. And I'm going like, oh, am I an idiot? Why can't I get this? It's like, this seems so easy. And this guy walked across the stage, and I apologize to the audience because it's my story, but this guy walked across, he was Middle East, he didn't speak good English, and he just said, my name's Ahmad Mahad. I've been in company 6 months. I get second car and building new home. I love this company and I love this country, and I just wanted to beat the crap out of him. I was going like, why is he doing this, you know? So I waited respectfully after he got off stage. You know, when people get off stage, everybody wants to hug him and give him shake their hand, congratulate him. And I walked up to him and I shook his hand, and that was one of the things you call as a significant emotional event. He looked at me right in the face, and I said, tell me how to be successful. He goes, okay. You walk up to lots of people, say, you want to make money? Yes, no. And I went, what? He goes, you ask people, do you want to make money? Yes, no. And I said, what if they ask you a question? He says, I look at him and I say, you answer my question first. You want to make money? Yes, no.
Hello,
Wow,
Mr. Robert.
Wow, I know that guy.
You know that guy?
Yes. How are you doing?
I'm fine. How are you too?
I am blessed and highly favored and deeply loved.
That's nice. So give us 5 minutes. We'll finish the video. Continue.
Okay, cool.
No. And I went, okay, so yes. And then he says, then you tell your upline story. I tell him, hey, you got to meet Jeff. Give me your phone number. I introduce you to Jeff. Jeff is the money man. He make all the money. He show you how. And it clicked for me, Eric. It just went, I've been making this way too hard. I've been saying too much. I just got to get people in front of my mentor. Well, then I had a problem because he right away asked, well, who's your upline? I mentioned the guy's name. I won't say it. But I mentioned 4 or 5 people that knew that I knew I was up the upline. And here they were involved in the company I was with. And this guy that just walked the stage didn't know who they were. And that's when it started to get on me. I finally mentioned my upline, and he goes, oh, I know her. You're with this guy. You know what I mean? I said, yeah. And he goes, you call company on Monday and tell them you want to talk to him. He'll call you. You work with him. You work with people that know what they're doing. And I didn't have any money whatsoever. I told him I called him up. He called me and said he was doing an event in San Diego. I lived in San Fernando Valley, a couple hours away. And I drove down there, and I didn't tell anybody, but I was sleeping in my car. And I just went to his seminar, and he said, what are you doing Monday? And I said, whatever you want me to do. And he set me down and started showing me how to do an ad, how to go through the script, how to get people, how to work with those people. And man, my business spun fast,
This is
super
back in the day
fast.
when a lot of people were running ads in the newspaper in order to be able to generate traffic, those types of things. Those days are kind of gone, but
I agree.
But teaching the fundamentals.
Absolutely.
You got into an incubator of learning.
Immersed.
You were immersed in how to build a business.
Right.
Being taught by somebody who knew what they were doing. So, long story short, you kind of move forward. How much have you earned in your career in total in commissions?
Just went over $43 million this year.
$43 million in how many years?
It's 26 years.
26 years, $43 million in commissions. Has anything gotten much beyond, do you want to make money? Yes, no. And, here I got somebody to introduce you to, or something to introduce you to?
No, I just believe that there's a lot of things with technology and stuff that's made it easier. Attending this breakthrough, I learn something every time I'm around you. Mm-hmm. But this availability of doing these blitz with the Texas that you taught. For some of you that are going to watch this, you just got to find a way to get around Eric and his training. I mean, the guy is not only very efficient in what he knows, but he's constantly being introduced to all the top people all over the world. And Eric just like this interview, is asking people, what are you doing? How are you doing it? Where are you getting your best results? And so I learn something every time I'm around you. I just really, really appreciate you.
Well, tell people you made $43 million. Somebody else might have not made $43.
Right.
What's the difference? What makes you special?
If anything makes me special, it was being upset that I wasn't learning fast enough. I felt if other people were doing this, I could do this, but apparently they must have some knowledge that I don't. And I don't still to this day understand how people can be successful by getting the same training that happens every other Saturday, and it's the same training. You gotta find people, and like I did, what made me special is getting around someone where I not only were taught what to do, but he showed me what to do. I got to watch him do it with other people. You know, this guy like you and me now has got stories after stories after stories of people that they found that didn't know nothing about this profession. They knew nothing on how to do it, but we showed them. They jumped into the 90-day blitz. They went to work. We helped them, and they got results. And once they got results, then you turn into crazy, because it's like, even I think we all agree that even when I got my first like $150 check, you know, that someone gave me for a water filter, I remember that, wow, I got a check for something other than my job. You know what I mean? And then learning that I could help other people become successful really became a trip for me.
So one was learning.
Totally.
That
totally.
separated. You became a lifelong learner when other people didn't.
Right.
Okay. What else? What else makes you special? What makes you different than a person that isn't making the kind of money that you make?
This is going to sound silly, but I'm very simple. Very, very simple. I don't understand that if I find someone like you that I can learn from, there's no need for me to change it at all. At all. I came from the racing industry, car industry, and I was telling some of your students here today in the breakthrough that if I was going to go into NASCAR tomorrow and I had the money to do it, I would just go to the guy that's won the last 9 world championships and I would just say, can I just get all your stuff? I don't need to reinvent the wheel, come up with my own words and try to figure out a different way of doing it. So I'm the kind of guy that if someone's doing something that works, then why not just do that exactly the way they tell you, believe in the faith of the process, and just work hard. So my mentor challenged me. He said, you know what, I bet you can't put 70 people in front of me in your first 30 days.
Right.
And I said, you're wrong, I'll do it. And it was 72. So that was the one that broke the momentum enough for me to receive over a $10,000 check in my first 45 days working with him, because that's what I considered the first time I went full time, because I had someone that showed me what I was doing. And of course, not to be misleading in any way, shape, or form, 5,000 of that had to be paid out in rebates, but it was the most money I've ever made. It was incredible. And having that check, funny thing I did, I had a mechanic buddy, David Nguyen was his name, is Vietnamese, and I knew he had money. So I signed the check over to him.
Hello, Mr. Robert.
Yes, I was learning from that guy. I haven't seen that video. I haven't seen that video in a long, long time. Thank you very much for sharing it with people.
Sure. Today I have to dig out that video. I need to dig it out. So I was actually enjoying it. And once again, I want to say thanks so much. Today, I am not at work. I closed early, and by the grace of God, I am here. My team yesterday were actually thinking that they were, when I left, you will still stay back. But I reassured them that we will do part 2. And we are so grateful.
Sure.
You accept the call, and then you want us to do.
Yeah, I apologize. I misunderstood. I thought when you said you had to hurry up and go, I thought you were the administrator and host. So I thought when he leaves, everyone's gone. So I just said goodbye, and I'm glad to be back. So what kind did some of your audience come up with good things to ask me?
Yes. I have a lot of questions from the audience for you. So today
awesome. Let's go.
To actually acknowledge everybody watching us on Facebook worldwide. Normally what I do with time with the legend is I don't normally do for company or my own leaders. I do for everybody in the industry. I don't care your company, I don't care your destination. The joy for me is to let the people who are not with us understand what we do, and we attract them to the profession. I always call it a profession.
Absolutely. I don't know. I know that you know this, but you know, if people go to roberthollis.com, all my training is free. I don't charge for any of my training. So I love giving back to the industry just like you. And that's why I love doing these videos with you.
Sure. So we appreciate, and we are very grateful. Now, before we start, we want to find out how the family doing now. US, how's the pressure, the COVID, how's everybody?
Say that one more time. How have I been doing the business with COVID?
No, I mean, before we start talking about business, we want to find out how is US, how's your family, everybody doing during this COVID? How you doing?
Well, first of all, thank you very much for asking that. My wife sort of laughed because when COVID first happened and we had our first shutdown, we're on our second shutdown now. But when we had our first shutdown, nothing changed for me. because I learned to do this business using Facebook Messenger and connecting with people on Facebook Messenger. Instead of doing a three-way call, I have people do a Facebook three-way with me, you know, so you do a group chat, and then I answer questions from there. And then from there, you know, we set up a Zoom. And so I use Facebook Messenger and Zoom is all I use, but I've been using that since 2007. So before there was Zoom, there was Google Hangouts. And so nothing really changed for me, but my business went up 3 times. This is the best year I've ever had. Last month was the best month I've ever had. And reason why is because people that are in my group are now locked down. So they're coming to me and they're going, Robert, how do I do this business? And I said, there's 2 billion people on Facebook. Learn to connect with people online and then connect us in a group chat, Facebook chat, and then let's do a Zoom with them. So now all day, every day, I just have one Zoom after another, after another, after another, after another. And now that's sort of a number that I ask people. I go, how many Zooms did you do with people that you've never met? How many Zooms are you doing a day? And if people say 0, I know they're not really doing the business. You know, people like me, I'm constantly filled with Zooms. So thank you very much for asking that question. So for me, it's fun because I'm getting people to get more results than they ever have because they're locked down. It's like, hey, you know, so great question. Thank you for asking. How are you and your family?
We are fine. Ghana is cool. You know, Monday we're having our general elections. We'll be electing our president, and we pray for peace, and we actually are advising everybody to stay calm, vote, and then that is all. Your job is just to vote, nothing else, nothing more. And we are praying to God that everything will go on successfully, and God will choose for us our next leader. Now back to business. Yesterday, before the conversation, you made mention that you've been in business for 30 years, 30 plus years, 34, and 34. I am 35 years. That means I was just 1 year when you started this profession. I'm 35 years. So after 1 year, you started. That is so amazing. So I was like, okay, and you made mention that you raised $60 million earners in this industry, and 9 of them own network marketing company themselves. So I want you to re-echo that for our listeners, people following and people watching us too. How
Okay.
did it come about?
Well, when you look at sports, right, there's two kinds of people. There's people that are incredible players. You know, they're incredible athletes. But then you have a person like Phil Jackson that's not only a good player, but he's a good coach. So, you know, he coached people like LeBron James and Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen and you know, Shaquille O'Neal. You know, so in my mind, I thought, man, if I can teach people how to make a full-time income in this industry, they'll probably stick around me and they'll probably be loyal to me and they'll probably, you know, really learn to teach others. So there's two philosophies in this industry. One is you throw people in the company and then you expect them to learn on their own. Me, I like taking people and showing them, not telling them, showing them how to get a result. And when they get results, they get addicted to results. The reason that you're doing this profession, the reason that I do this profession is I'm addicted to getting other people results. It's still to this day, the most rewarding and fulfilling thing I do. There's nothing funner for me or more enjoyable for me to find a person that says, we got our first new car. We've always had used cars. You know, we got a reliable car that we can take our children in. And it's like, I'm the first person in my family to own a home.
Oh,
You know what I mean? And so, you know, I like people quitting their jobs. You know what I mean? And the next thing you know, they're always around their family. And I go, wow, you're around your family. And you go, yeah, because I can pay them more than they were getting paid. And so it's that that's why I do this business. Now, I'll be honest, when I started this business, it was all about me. I needed to make money so that
because
I
you
could
were
pay
hungry.
so I could eat, so I could pay my bills. But once you focus on other people and helping them succeed, that's when everything started getting excited for me.
That's cool. So how was your life before network marketing? How was your life? What life?
Yeah, before I was just a mechanic. I have a learning disability. I'm dyslexic, so I can't really read well and I can't spell. And so, you know, so one time, one person, and it's great to give encouragement to people. So I had one uncle that said to me, wow, you're really good with your hands. You should be a mechanic. And I went, okay. So I just went into being a mechanic and loved being a mechanic, loved working on cars. And then all of a sudden I got hurt on the job. And I love making fun of this because I'll show you how smart I am. You know, I'm a pretty simple guy. And there was a van that was sitting on a hoist and it started to tip and I tried to stop it. And so it won and it almost amputated my right leg. And so while I was in the hospital, the doctor said, well, you'll never be a mechanic again. And I sort of lost my whole identity. You know what I mean? He says, you're not going to be able to support your weight. And so I was going, oh my God, what am I going to do? I got to take care of my family. And so it was a real good thing that happened to me because I didn't know what to do. So then I became open-minded. And the guy that I worked for gave me that book, The Science of Getting Rich. And he said, read this book. And it changed every way I thought. I went from feeling hopeless and that I couldn't do anything to all of a sudden mentally going, I can find a way to be of value to people. I can figure out a way.
He gave you which book?
Huh?
He said that your guy gave you which book?
Yeah, that's the book that I sent you. It's The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles. And it was written in 1910. So it was written it was written before Think and Grow Rich. And a lot of people don't know about the book. And I love it because it's really God-centered too. And so, you know, it gets you to stop thinking negative things, you know? So one of the things that you can say is, oh my God, you know, people that have learning disabilities, you know, like being dyslexic, they can't be successful. Well, you go to Google and you put in successful people that are dyslexic. And you find out that there's a lot of people that are successful. You know, you could say, well, you know, how can I be successful if I don't have any legs? So you can go in and put, you know, successful people that are amputees. And you immediately now, because of the internet, whatever your excuse is, I live in Africa. I live in Africa. I live in Nigeria. I live in Kenya. I live in Ghana. We'll go on the internet and put in successful people that came from Kenya, successful people that came from Ghana. And you're going to see that, yeah, people make money in Africa. They make a lot of money in Africa. So it gets you to stop being so limited in your beliefs. You know, we all think, I can't do it. I'm too old. I'm the wrong color. I'm the wrong religion. You know, I grew up in a bad neighborhood. It doesn't matter. So I always use this with like athletes, right? So a person sees an athlete and sees how successful they become. They become inspired. They become inspired. Wow, that guy figured out how to make money, even though he was born in Nigeria. You see what I mean? And so it really got me to think that things were possible for me. And when you start thinking, that's called faith. And when you believe, you go into action. And when you go into action, you get results. And then you just keep doing that. So now you got more confidence, more belief, more faith, more action, more results, and it just keeps going. Yeah.
That's awesome. Very, very, very awesome. And once again, the people watching us on Facebook, if you pick something you've learned, something Mr. Robert said and touch your heart, kindly drop it in the chat box, in the comment box, and let's know that we are making an impact. I always say impact is greater than income. Definitely, if you make an impact, you will surely make an income, and your income is directly proportional to your impact. So now, Mr. Robert, how many times when you were introduced to this opportunity, did you at any point in time reject it? Like, oh, this, I don't like it, it's not going to work. Do you have such reactions?
You're asking at times, did I want to quit and say, I don't want to do this? All the time. I'm human. I'm a human being. And so I have bad days. I'm not made for this. This is not for me. I don't want to do this anymore. And even though you start making money and become successful, you learn new lessons, you know? So I've had very large groups, and then all of a sudden one of my leaders comes to me and says, I'm quitting, or I'm going to go into another company. And it's like, oh my God, oh no. And then I've also had companies that have gone out of business. I mean, you see a lot of trophies back here. I've had companies that all of a sudden they just couldn't stay in business. So now that's sort of a letdown. You sort of mentally in your mind, like go through a divorce and you just go, oh my God. Like, so if you go through a divorce and then, you know, someone reaches out to you and says, I got a person for you to date, you usually say, no, thank you. I'm okay right now. But then because you want to impact and help other people, you know, it's sort of like you're addicted to it. So after you get past the hurt you re-engage. And then I've had some companies, and I think you'll love this statement, is through my 34-year career, I've either been an incredible liar, or
Repeat.
an incredible prophet. That's prophecy. Let me explain the difference. If I sit down with the owners of the company and they share their vision with me of what they're going to do, I buy into their vision and then I share it with everyone I can. And unfortunately, sometimes I find out that the vision that the owner shared with me, they couldn't or wouldn't fulfill. So they made a liar out of me because I believed in it. So I said, oh my God, we're coming out with this product. We're going to do this compensation plan. We're going to expand in this area. And I said all that to everyone that was following me because I did what the owners told me. And then when they won't fulfill their promises and they won't do what they need to do, then it makes me look like a liar to the people that are in my field. And people that are following me, when this happens to me, then with integrity, I have to leave. I have to leave because all of a sudden, if you're a good human being, all of a sudden you stop doing meetings for the company with enthusiasm. Look at you shaking your head. Yeah, people go, why aren't you doing meetings? And it's because I found out that I'm lying to people and I can't lie to people anymore. They're not doing what they told me they would do. And so it's like you and I ran ahead of everyone and we found out the direction that we're going, that the bridge is out. There's no bridge. And people get a little mad at us when we run back and go, the bridge is out. We got to find another way to get our dreams and to get what's going on. And so as a leader, it's sometimes very difficult. On the other side, here's the magic. When someone shares me a vision and I share it with the field and all the people, and it comes true. Now you're a prophet. They're going, oh my God, Robert said we were going to go international. And Robert said that we're adding these other products. And Robert said that they're adding more to the comp plan. And it happened, and it happened, and it happened. Those are the wonderful times in this industry. So yeah, it's like I definitely have ups and downs, and I still do. And I'll tell you where, how to correct that. If you're in a dump and you're low on yourself, you get it back by plugging back into people that have a vision. So it says in the Bible that, for a lack of vision, people perish. They die because they've lost their vision. The only way that you can get inspired is hanging around someone like you. There's no way I could hang around you and not feel my energy level goes from 5 to 15. And so you got to get around people that are on that vision. If you're by yourself, the other way that you can do it is you got to find something new to learn. You know what I mean? You're sort of stagnated. So it might be a new book, or it might be a new audio. One of the books that I currently got was this one here, Money and the Law of Attraction by Esther and Jerry Hicks. And it had a CD in the back. And what I'll do is I'll send you that link so you can listen to the last chapter. And so when I'm down in the dump, I got to learn something new that inspires me, and then I can inspire others. So the way that I got to get out from feeling negative is I got to get out of my own head. If I don't listen to new stuff, then I'm down, So I tell people you can be really, really down and then listen to your favorite song. And it picks your energy back up.
All right. So after you accept that you want to do this, you want to build this business, where were your friends, family, were they laughing at you? Did they tell you to leave and go and look for a job? What are some of the roadblocks? And how did you accept this? How did you go about? How did you cross this roadblock? Especially when your family, your friends are not accepting that what you are doing is good. They don't want to join you. They laugh at you. They don't even accept. Some don't even pick your course again. How did you go about this?
Well, again, it comes back to who you're following, who's your mentor, who's your coach. If you notice as a child will say, well, I want to be a professional basketball player. I want to be a professional football player. Girls can say, I want to be a professional ballet dancer. I want to be a professional singer. And you'll notice that everyone's encouraging to children. Everyone's encouraging to children. When you become an adult and you say you want to be a singer or an actor, they go get a real job. It's time for you to be an adult. It's time for you to be responsible. And when they tell you that they love you, that's the funny one, is they say, well, I love you and I'm worried about you. You know, you gotta go out and get a real job. You gotta go out and become a responsible adult. And my response is usually something they don't want to hear. I'll tell you the funny story is, you know, my first 3 or 4 years in network marketing, things were going really well. And me and my wife were getting, you know, new house and a new automobile. And we were really living the dream. We were traveling all over. And we showed up on Thanksgiving, Christmas. And all my family and relatives were around me that all told me no. Every one of them told me no. They thought it was a scam. They thought it was, you know, all these bad things. And so my cousin was going to be the guy that I was closest to. And he said, with all my family and relatives there, he goes, listen, Robert, we're really worried about you. And I said, like it was an intervention. And it was like, and I go, why? And he goes, well, we believe that you're living beyond your means. We believe that you're dreaming and that you're living beyond your dreams. And I just told him really nicely, I said, great. I said, let's say that I am. What's the worst thing that can happen? I said, the worst thing that can happen is I don't make payments on my home, so they take my home away. I don't make payments on my new car, so they take my new car away. And so I got to get a used car, and then I got to move into an apartment and pay somebody else rent. And then when it gets so bad, I guess I got to go get a job. Oh my God, the worst thing that could happen to me is I could be like you.
All right.
Now that wasn't very funny for them. You know what I mean? It was like, listen, the worst thing I could do is be living paycheck to paycheck, barely getting by. That's the worst thing that could happen to me. The worst thing that could happen to me is I could be just like you. That's the worst that could happen. So they didn't think that was funny, but hey.
And I remember equally when I started my business. In fact, I do transition, and I got to a company where stable we're building. One of our products was a ladies' napkin.
Oh yeah.
People were like, "Oh, the military officer is now selling sanitary pad."
Yeah.
There's still a lot of rumors and few years things were happening and we got our cars, we were traveling all over the world and people were like, is this thing really working? And I could feel the same part in your story. Now, I want to find out, there's a saying that it doesn't matter what works, but it is what duplicates. What were some of your strategy? Did you have some strategies you were using that you applied some moves What were some of the strategies you were using?
Well, I always tell people, I always tell people, if you want to learn to do anything, you got to make it so simple that people don't overthink and they don't get confused. So let me take something simple that everybody should know how to do. It's dancing. Okay, so watching this video, there's three groups of people that are watching this video live or recorded. One, you don't want to dance and you're never going to dance. All right. Then there's a second group of people that dance, but they're not good. they think they're good dancers, you know. Give them a little alcohol and they think that they're, you know, John Travolta, you know what I mean? It's like, and then the last person is the person that says, I want to learn how to dance. So if you hire somebody that has taught other people how to dance really good, at the beginning, you're not going to be very good at it. You're going to step on toes. You're going to forget the steps. You might not have any good rhythm. You know what I mean? But when they first teach you the dance, they teach you the simplest dance. They do this in martial arts. They teach you something simple you can do, so then you can be rewarded. You're like, oh my God, I got it. Oh my God, I got it. So when people get involved in this industry, what they tend to do is they tend to be too creative. They want your and my position in the company. They want your and my income in this industry, but they really don't realize how simple you and I are. Because we just figured out, like Bruce Lee says, you know, the famous martial artist, they asked him one time, are you scared about people that know, you know, Taekwondo and they know Kung Fu and they know Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and they know all these different styles? And he goes, no, I'm not scared of them at all. The guy I'm scared of is the person that practiced one technique 10,000 times. Because if they just learn one combination or one kick or one sweep and they mastered that one 10,000 times, I'm not going to see that one coming. And he even brought up the person, Chuck Norris. See, Chuck Norris learned to do a spinning back fist and no one else was doing it. But he didn't just do it, he mastered it. So he would set you up thinking that something else was coming, because he would kick you in the ribs and then you'd bring your elbow down. And then he would kick you in the ribs and you bring your elbow down. Then he would act like he would kick you, you bring your elbow down, and he would spin with the back fist and knock you out. So that's why I say you got to keep it simple. A lot of people get in and they do something a little bit and they don't get results. So then they try to do something else. And they don't get good at that one, so then they try something else. And so a lot of people get mad at you and me and other leaders because they go, please, please, please just tell me what you do. And you go, all I do is connect with strangers all day long. No, tell me what you really do. I contact strangers all day long, and then people that connect with strangers connect them to me, and I do Zooms with them. I talk to more strangers than anybody else every day. You reached out to me to ask me to do these videos, and we've never met before. You had no trouble reaching out to a total stranger, and you didn't know what I was going to say. But now, because of your bravery, your courage, your action, now watch how many people you get on here. Because you can reach out to people and say, hey, I just did the legend training with Robert Hollis. What? You did? Yeah. I was wondering if you would be on one. Yeah. So you went straight for the giants. You went straight to... And now everybody's going like, oh my God, I could never call Robert. Here's why. You overthink. You go, he's too busy. I'm nobody. I'm not in his group. He won't make any money off me. He's probably rich and doesn't care anymore. See, you're thinking all the things that make you stay poor. I don't mind reaching out. I'll reach out to anybody. So I just do the things that are simple. I pique people's interest. I connect with them, give them a gift. Then I get them in front of videos of someone that's more successful than me. And some of you might be going, yeah, but you're successful now. Yeah, that's why I keep it simple. I could put them in front of me and I could do the presentations and I could do the trainings, but then everybody would think that they would have to do the presentation and training and they won't do it and they're not good at it. So I'd rather just keep it simple.
That's nice. And you make mention, I wanted to know, do you use more of tools, one-on-one presentations, group presentations before COVID? Do you use stories, DVDs, or you combine everything?
Yeah, believe it or not, the tools that I use, like I said before, is I use Facebook Messenger and I use video conference. Now, when it comes to a training or a presentation, I'll get really good and do a good presentation, but I don't do live presentations. I teach everybody that, you know, what's one thing that's more important than money? A lot of things. God, my family, and my freedom. Those three things are more important to me than money. So I teach people to use videos because if I don't, then I got to be available all the time. And so pique someone's interest. It takes less than a minute. Then get them in front of an effective presentation. And then get them in front of someone that can answer their questions and help you get them enrolled. That's as simple as it is. So yes, I use the tools. And like I shared with you, I've been using video conference and Zoom since 2007. So wow. Now, you know, I can't even tell you the last time I did a weekly presentation or a weekly training. I haven't done that since the internet. Because if I did a weekly meeting every Thursday at a local hotel, then I can't stop. So when so yeah, everything duplicates. So if someone came to a meeting I did live and they got in, then they would think the only time that I can introduce someone to this business is the next week when that person's doing the presentation again. So now you're doing the business once a week instead of doing it all day, every day, like we should be.
That's great. So meaning that with the COVID, you do more of being online than meeting a lot of people, because as for me, a lot of people are even afraid to go out. Some places they will not even allow you to go out. So I could see that the online is more wrong. Sorry for that.
That's all right.
The online is more attractive even than the offlines nowadays. So how many companies have you been involved with? And what are some of the challenges of switching from one company to another?
Yeah, in 34 years, I've been in 19 different companies.
Wow, 19 companies.
Yep. And seven of them, I've hit the #1 position and the #1 income earner. And so, you know, 12 times I chose wrong. When I found a good one, then I could stay in for like 7 years. You know what I mean? I've been with companies for 7 years, but usually the companies when I was young, people could easily excite me. I would jump into a company because they told me, you know, you can be first. oh my God, you can be first. And I've been in a lot of startup companies that never got out of the basement. But I learned that lesson. I learned that lesson. The other lesson that I learned is I used to be, people could, make me excited by telling me I needed to be the first in the company. But I worked on myself, and I believe in abundance. And I know that there's, again, that book helped me with that, is there's always enough for everyone. As you guys watch this video, what I want for myself, I want for you.
Yeah.
And so now that I understand abundance, I've been involved in companies that were 15 years old, and I jump in and go right to the top. So now I can get involved in a stable company. So now I was looking for comp plans. I was looking for products. I was looking for, that thing to make me successful. And then I got more mature, and I found out, man, if you find a really good mentor that's making more than you can follow that mentor, and they already have the experience. So if you were going from one company to another, I would be looking at your income and what you've done in the past, and I'm going, apparently this guy knows what he's doing. So now I follow leaders that I know that they're documented. So when my wife asked me 2.5 years ago, she said she wanted to get back into network marketing. And I told her, don't look for a product, don't look for a company, don't listen to the hype, find a mentor. And she tricked me. My wife tricked me. She said, well, great, then find her for me.
Find what?
Find her for me. So she wanted a female mentor. So I called Eric Worre, I called Todd Falcone, I called Ray Higdon, Randy Gage, Todd Nugent. I called everyone I knew in the industry and asked them who was really doing well, who was like making ripples, and stuff. And they told me this lady's name. And so I went and looked her up, and I was going, wow. And she was making $156,000 a week.
Repeat.
Yeah, and that was twice that, 156,000 in 1 week. And so that was
$156,000 in 1 week.
Yeah. And so that's twice the money than I made. So I was going, maybe I can learn from her. So it works out when you find people that are not afraid to show you their income, and they're not afraid to show you what they're doing. And that's the people I look for. I got a simple saying. If it's neat, let's say there's something that happened to your car, right? And it won't start. And you call me up and I say, hey, what are you doing? And you go, well, right now I'm dealing with my car. It won't start. And I go, hey, I know a friend that can fix it. You would be going, no, thank you. I would go, no, listen, I'll come over and fix your car. Are you a mechanic? Well, no, but I slept at a Holiday Inn. You go, no, I love my car. I'm going to find a real good mechanic. See? But why don't we do that in network marketing? So we ask people, who are you learning from? My cousin. How much has your cousin made? Well, I don't know. But why do you listen to him? Well, because Jimmy brought him in. My cousin works with Jimmy. Who's Jimmy? And now you got a bunch of people out there that are doing stuff like putting flyers on telephone poles or standing out in the street with signs, printing business cards and putting them on cash machines, ATM. And they're doing it because Jimmy said that he's doing it. Now, I want to learn from people like you.
And I want to learn from people like you.
Yeah. So, and here's the sad thing about it. When people talk to people that have made success in this industry, they just do the same thing over and over and over again. I want you guys right now to think, do you guys know who Mariah Carey is?
I've heard of him.
Yeah. Do you know she sang that Christmas song? All I want for Christmas is you. And she's made hundreds of millions of dollars from that song. And every year she has a Christmas special. And her song goes to #1 every year around Christmas.
Yes, I heard of her. I heard of her. She made a lot of money.
Yeah. So if you walked up to Mariah Carey and said, oh, I want to make hundreds of millions of dollars like you, what should I do? And she said, you should sing the same song all the time. That sounds boring.
Very boring.
You just asked me how to be a superstar. Get a song and sing it all the time. And people are going like, I don't want to do that. No, she's good at singing that song. And if you walked up to her and asked her, how many times have you sung that song? She would go, I don't care. Let's talk about a professional athlete. You think of your very best professional athlete. Could be LeBron James. Could be Kobe Bryant. Could be Michael Jordan. But they're really, really good at doing just a couple of things. If you went to Michael Jordan and you ask him, what do you do? I put the basketball in the hoop. No. What do you do? I dribble, I pass the ball, and I put the ball in the hoop. Do you do anything else? Yeah, I do. I try to stop the other team from putting the ball in the hoop. And then you go, so what are you doing tomorrow? I'm practicing putting the ball in the hoop. Did you guys hear? He just got paid $85 million for a 2-year contract. Why would someone pay him $85 million for 2 years? Because he's good at putting the ball in the hoop.
So Robert, how do you handle people, like you said earlier on? Someone sent me a question. He said, I want to find out. How do you handle people you invested so much? You've trained, you've groomed, they become leaders, and they leave. How do you handle them?
Your audio's been echoing this whole time, so please say that question again because it just didn't click.
I mean that you've invested so much in a leader,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden they are gone.
Yeah.
How do you go about it?
Well, it's just part of life. It really, really is part of life. We take it more personal in this business, but LeBron James, we brought up LeBron James. LeBron James played for the Cleveland Cavaliers. He couldn't win a championship. He went to Miami Heat. First year they did nothing. Then they won 2 world championships. Then he went back to Cleveland. He won another championship. Next year, they got swept. Then he left Cleveland and went to the LA Lakers. First year, got injured. Lakers didn't make it to the playoffs. This year, world championship ring. So in athletics, in acting, in singing, in jobs, it happens all the time. It's just in this industry, when you invest a lot of time and effort in somebody and then they decide to quit or stop doing the business or stop producing or go to another company, we just take it too personal. We allow it to hurt our emotions instead of just realizing that they're on their own journey. I can be friends with you and have you as a best friend, and you don't have to be in the team that I'm playing with. You know, when I used to race cars, and I was friends with all the other racers. There was only one time that they wasn't my friend, and that's when I was racing them. But as soon as the race was over, we were friends again. So if you have somebody that you spend a lot of time and a lot of effort in, you just got to wish them the best. They might even say negative stuff about you and the company and all this stuff. Just wish them the best. Just say, people go, oh, I heard so-and-so left the company. I just go, man, I want for them what I want for me. I hope they find success. I hope they find happiness. And people are just people. I'll tell you that we got to stop getting mad at people doing people things.
You got to stop being mad at people doing people's things.
Yes, you can't. You here's when you're miserable and angry and frustrated, confused, is when you try to control things that are not in your control. I could be really upset right now because of our government in the United States. I can't do anything about it. But I can do something about Robert Hollis.
Sure.
I can do something about my family. I can do something about my local community. I can make a difference in the people that I touch and make an impact every day.
So that comes to one question again.
Okay.
What are some of your impacts in
It's
terms
everything.
of people?
It's everything. Yeah, it's everything. The impact in people is everything. When I think it was over a year ago, I stood on stage and told everyone, even though I was competing with Eric Worre and Todd Falcone and Ray Higdon, and I was competing with all these people, and I said, guess what? My training's free. My business skyrocketed. Now, at the time, it makes no sense because you're going, well, I get people to pay me for coaching. I get people to pay me for training. I get to speak at large events like Association and Network Marketing Professionals or Eric Worre's events or Ray Higdon's event. And now all of a sudden I'm going to stop all that to focus on the impact. And my business exploded. So when you focus on helping other people, your business will explode. If you focus on you, it's hard. Great questions, man. Awesome questions.
Yes, and I wanted to also ask, what are some of your worst experience in network marketing? All your 34 years. What are some of your worst?
Say it again.
Some of your worst experience.
What experience?
The bad ones ever.
The worst experience ever?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I've never been asked that question. The worst experience ever. Great question. So you guys, well, 2012, I was a master distributor in a company. I had 758,000 people in my group in 19 countries. And I had 9 people underneath me that were making over $1 million a year. I was making $2.2 million a year on residual income. And the company imploded. The owners of the company lived in Malaysia. there was a CEO of North America and a CEO of South America. Both of them conspired together to start a competitive company because they didn't think that they were being treated right by the owner in Malaysia. And they destroyed my entire organization. There, that was a pretty good one, huh?
That's serious.
Oh, I had to start all over, but I didn't start all over right away. I took 5 years off. I was crushed. It was like a divorce for me. That's when I started my brand, roberthollis.com. I said, I'm never doing network marketing ever again. I'm done. And I built my brand. I did really well. I wasn't fulfilled. And then, 2.5 years ago, my wife goes, can you help me? I want to get network marketing again. Can you help me? And I'm like, yeah, I'll help you. And so this is my true love. And I really apologize. It's 1 o'clock. I got to jump on another Zoom right now. So I gotta go.
Enjoying the conversation.
Thank you so much for that last question. And one of the other questions that I always wish people would ask me is, what would you tell if you were back 30 years old?
It's here.
Oh, 30 years old. What would you tell your future self? And I'll tell you what it is. Dream more, dream of making a bigger impact, make your dreams bigger, make your goals bigger. You're thinking too small. You're thinking way too small. So when I was young, I was like, God, wouldn't it be cool if I could make $100,000, $100,000 a year? And this year I made $100,000 in a day. So I could have easily done that in my 30s instead of my 50s, my late 50s. I had small dreams. So
we need to dream bigger.
Yes. Send them way out there. Shoot for the moon and land on the skyscraper.
Now, I have one last question.
Okay.
One last question, and then
okay. Hurry up. I gotta go.
I want to find out from you, what's your advice for somebody who is not in the industry, someone who is doubting, someone who don't know exactly what to do currently? What's your advice for the person? What will you tell somebody who is behind their bills, they have loans, they are struggling to pay school fees for their kids? What's your advice for them about network marketing?
The one thing I'll say to every one of you is I want you to think about things in your past that you just did not like. You were closed-minded. I'll give you a neat example. For me, someone said, hey, have you ever eaten sushi? I went, raw fish? Yeah, not gonna happen. Never, ever, ever is that gonna happen. I moved to California. I hang around more wealthy people, and they all go to a sushi restaurant. And every one of them, I admired these people. And I was going, why are you eating sushi? And they would go, oh my God, it's the best tasting stuff in the world. You need to try it. And I was finally around people that I respected, and I tried sushi, and now I love sushi. So maybe when you're a kid, you didn't like vegetables. You know what I mean? And now I eat vegetables all the time. You know what I mean? I want you to think about things that, I'll give you another funny one. When I was really young and a kid, my uncles used to tease me, and they would say, Bobby, do you have a girlfriend? And I went, ooh, ick. I don't want to catch cooties. There was times in my life when you talk to a young kid and say, do you have a boyfriend or girlfriend? They'll go, stop teasing me, icky. I don't like girls. I don't like boys. One day you go, I like girls. I like boys a lot. So understand that you changed your mind. And so the reason that you might think that network marketing is not for you is because you're just not open-minded. You want to hang around people and ask them to show you their income. You know, get them to show you that this is for real. And all you got to do is allow the seeds to plant and just ask yourself, what is this? What if this is really real? Because you and I know there's tens of thousands of people that make a full-time income doing network marketing. Tens of thousands, not one, not two. No, you guys can go to Eric Worre or businessfromhome.org, and there's thousands and thousands and thousands of people like professional athletes. A professional soccer player, average player, makes about $300,000 a year. I make that every 3 months. So you got to learn from people that are doing it. So if you're listening to your friend or your cousin or Jimmy, you might not be getting the right information, right? Everyone laughed at Amazon. Everybody laughed at Amazon. Who is going to go on the internet and have a book sent to them? That's dumb. I can just get in a car and drive down to Barnes and Noble or Borders and buy a book. Why would I order it on the internet? Now, guess what? COVID happened and everyone's ordering everything from Amazon. I've run into people that have told me, I will never, ever, ever take my credit card. I'll never take my credit card and buy something on the internet. Never. They're doing it now. They're doing it now. And people used to say, yeah, but that's not very secure. You know, I'm worried about someone stealing my money. And I go, have you ever gone to a restaurant? And they go, yeah. Waiter, waitress comes up, gives you this little thing. You give her your credit card and she disappears. She disappears and then comes back and gives your card back. And you're going like, yes, I remember when we first did business and the very first time that you could buy product online. And I was talking to people and they go, no way. I will never use my credit line on a credit card online. And now today, every one of them's doing it. They're going on Amazon, buying stuff from Amazon. So the people that laughed at Amazon, the people that laughed at Facebook, the people that laughed at Zoom, I'll leave you guys with this. Do you guys realize in America, I don't know if it's happening in Africa, we are watching TV shows and we're watching people using Zoom on TV shows. So you're watching the TV show and the guy's got this video. He's got the guy in New York. He's got the guy in LA. He's got the guy in Africa. And they're doing TV shows with people using Zoom. We got a guy, a comedian named Kevin Hart. Very funny comedian, also movie star. Jumanji or whatever it is. And it's like, and Kevin Hart now is doing a show where he's got people on Zoom and they're competing with little contests against each other. And he's making millions of dollars connecting 3 couples on Zooms from other areas, and they do little competitions. It's called Face Off or something like that. And I'm going like, we're watching companies putting content online using Zoom. Don't you think it's your turn? You need to start using Zoom. Okay, now I gotta go. I love and appreciate you.
Yeah, we love you. God bless you so much. We are grateful. We are grateful for what you've shared with us. We'll catch up next time, anytime, any day. We will put you online for a specific training, maybe in the field of prospecting, recruiting, presentation, closing, any of the topics to make our profession a better one. God bless you. God bless your family.
bless
And
you.
regards
I'm proud of
to your
you.
kids
So,
and your wife.
I'm so proud
Bye-bye.
of you. God bless you and your family. Bye-bye.
Bless you. Bye. All right, everybody watching us on Facebook. Thank you so much for making this a success. Share with someone who is still afraid, who is still doubting the nice, this enviable profession, which is paying so much well, taking a lot of people out of unemployment, giving a lot of people hope, giving a lot of people the avenue and the chance to impact into the life of others. I'm not doing this for doing sake. I'm doing it for you to have a change of mind, doing it for you to unlearn what you've already known, to relearn, to reoccupy your subconscious mind with the right information so that you can impact. I just want to be a name, a full stop, a comma, a dash, an apostrophe in your success story. The profession is a profession when you join, you need to take your time to learn the skills, like Mr. Robert said. Drop anything you've learned from Mr. Robert on Facebook. Post it, tag me, tag him. We will share it. Let's reach out to the numbers. Let's reach out to the people who are doubting, people who don't see anything good about this profession, based or because of what they've heard, based on their past experiences. Somebody might lie to you, oh, you join, you do anything. No, there's a process. Somebody has been doing this for 34 years. Somebody is making in 3 weeks what a football player is making in one year. It's amazing. And we might not be making the billions of the dollars, but hey, let me tell you, even here in Ghana, this thing has changed my life. Okay? Network marketing has made me a landlord. Network marketing has made me a realtor, somebody who is investing into real estate. Network marketing has given me hope that my mom, my parents, my kid sisters can have a home of theirs, can have a house of theirs. So that is what we are talking about. It's not about just making all the money. Not all of us will make $1 million, but if you are making 1% of $1 million a month, a week in your company, choosing video, man, it's better than not having a job. Building a network marketing company is better than looking for a job for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years and not getting. And then you get to a point where you go to any who give me anything I want to do. No, that is not what we are talking about. We are talking about a real life impact. If you are ready to know about network marketing, it's a profession. I am ready to give you the skills. Every leader watching this, sharing this video, get closer to them. If somebody has ever told you, has ever prospected, has ever invited you, you've ever attended a presentation, a meeting, a home meeting, a coffee break spoken about the home-based business and network marketing profession, please take a look at it again. It has changed my life. I'm a professional computer engineer. I did computer engineering in the university. First class student, 3.97 GPA. It doesn't bring money. After the degree, after the paper degree, what next? I work with the Air Force, a flight engineer by profession. Aviation, first line aircraft maintenance. But ladies and gentlemen, why do you think other parts of the world, people go to work, they close, go to another job, close, go to another job, because they cannot depend on one source of income. That is my point. But here you go to school and teach 8 hours, you come back, you go to your work, a tailor, maybe a mason, a police, a fire service person, a banker, 8 hours, you'll be there, 10 hours, you come back, you do the same thing for 30 years, and you are in the church praying to God that you want to be a millionaire. It's not going to happen. I always said to the young guys that there is no romance without finance. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's embrace the importance of multiple source of income. A table with one leg is never a table. A table with two legs have a question mark. A table with 3, 4, 5, 6 legs is stronger. That is the same way you have to, that same ideology you need to adopt for your life financially. God bless you so much for watching this. Share with somebody. If you are in doubt, again, you can contact me for more explanation on phone, Zoom, anytime, any day. Your son, your friend, your brother, your you can hate on me, yeah, your enemy, whichever way, but I know I don't make enemy with anybody. I am ready to teach you, to coach you, to guide you, and help you build your network marketing business. Thank you, South Africa. Thank you, Zambia, Ghana, Nigeria, Botswana, Cameroon, Zimbabwe, Liberia, Ivory Coast, Botswana, wherever all you guys are amazing leaders in all other companies without being in my company. I love you so much. And I said, God bless you. God bless your family. And certainly, God bless your dream. See you on the next episode